Hello, hello, hello. I know it's been forever since I've been on here, but I just had to speak on this whole Ice Spice versus Cleo situation. Poor Cleo, she is so delusional. It's not even funny, y'all. Okay, so let me just give you a brief synopsis of what's been going on. So, Ice Spice, big megastar, she invites this girl she knows of 2 years. They're friends, but I would think of it more of an acquaintance situation because Miss Cleo says she hasn't even seen Ice Spice without her makeup on. Okay. So anyway, so Ice Spice, she is going on tour at the very last minute, like literally 24 hours prior. She invites Miss Cleo to come, perform. Cleo has less than 10,000 followers, but she obviously is like, hey, I'll share my stage with you. So everything's going pretty good. Cleo's like, oh, yeah, sure, okay, I'll just go. She drops everything and she goes on tour with Ice Spice. So problems start coming up when first Ice Spice told her, she was like, hey, they were gonna leave their bags on the Cleo was gonna leave her bags on a tour bus. And Ice told her, she was like, no, don't do that because you might need something in your bag and you will not have it. So she told security, she says, tell security which bags to bring, and Cleo does. And it just so happens she did have a wardrobe malfunction and she was able to change because she did just as I suggested, bring her bags up. But the interesting part is when Cleo's explaining it, she says that Ice like did some dark magic on her. And I'm like, how's that dark magic when she's telling you from experience anything can happen and you won't have your outfit? But she's telling you to prepare. Anyway, so security brings up Ice bags and Cleo's bag. So now they're showering, they're getting ready to perform. Now, oh, let me also tell you that Ice did tell the girl, hey, just come with me. I got you. You're with me. Don't worry about nothing. She did say that. Now, I do have a problem with that. However, seeing how this Cleo girl is, I'll have to get into that later about, how I'm Nigerian, I come from money, I will always have money, blah, 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 blah. We'll get to that in a minute, but let me just first focus on the events leading to what ultimately happened and why this friendship is just null and void. So anyway, so this particular instance, security does bring up the bags. After that show in that situation, her bags, security is only bringing Ice Spice's stuff up, and so she's like, "Hey, security didn't bring my bags." So Ice is like, "Well, I mean, if he doesn't know what bags to bring, he's not gonna bring anything." So now Cleo's upset because she's bringing up her own bags, taking pictures with fans, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so now the very next time is the bag situation again. But this time, Ice is like, listen, my security, he works for me. And I pay him to bring my things up, which I have no problem with that, okay? And so she's like, Cleo's like, okay, so how much more do I need to pay him? And Ice is like, it's just a flat fee that I pay him. So Cleo, in her mind, she's getting on line ranting, saying, if it's a flat fee, it shouldn't matter. And I'm like, girl, that man ain't gonna work like no slave, bringing up everybody's stuff for one fee. No, you got to pay. So she's bringing up her own stuff. Mind you, she still has the attitude of, why didn't you just tell me I had to do this? I could arrange for somebody to do that for me. Da, da, da. I'm thinking, okay, if that's the case, arrange it. Get on the phone, call somebody, because she's acting like she just really has it like that. So anyway, now it's the situation. She texts this Ice and lets her know how much she does not like that situation. Cleo still does not understand. At that very moment when she's complaining about the bags, Ice cuts her off in a covert way. She didn't just say, girl, I'm cutting you off. She just pretty much is like, but I felt Ice was already up front, and I think Cleo was leaving a lot out. Ice Spice was like, hey, he's my security, he works for me. This is how it is. Another thing that Cleo brings up is that this tour bus is like a slave ship, and there are three beds, da 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 da. And I'm like, how are you gonna like equate a tour bus to a slave ship? But okay, whatever. My biggest problem with Cleo is that she wants the same exact clout as Ice Spice, and I don't feel like she's put in the work and effort yet to get that. I mean, come on. Ice Spice was at the Super Bowl with Taylor Swift. Girl, you are not there yet. I'm not saying that she can't get there, but you want this 5-star treatment and you're not even there yet. The girl said you don't even have 10,000 followers. So anyway, I digress. So now she's not sharing a hotel room with her anymore. Somehow the hairstylist, Ice Spice's hairstylist, has become friends with Cleo. And so she didn't say exactly how that friendship started, but they're allegedly cool. I'm thinking to myself, Cleo, watch yourself. Don't forget, this girl is paid by Ice Spice. So I'm thinking the hairstylist is just a buffer so that Cleo is not completely out of the loop, but somewhat in the loop. So these two are on the tour bus together. Ice Spice's boyfriend at some point joins. So it's the end of the night. Um, Ice Spice and her boyfriend go to the back of the tour bus where Ice Spice's room is. Obviously, it's the big room. And she's like, Ice is like, you gotta bounce. And Cleo legit does not understand. Like, what do you mean? She's like, you need to get your own room. And she's like, oh, well, why didn't y'all tell me that? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, girl, the girl's boyfriend is joining her on the tour bus. Why do you feel like you need to be back there? And it was a situation with the hotel room as well. They get off the tour bus, they go to a city, they check into a hotel. And Ice is like, I think they texted her and said, you need to get your own room. And she was really upset and offended by that. She's like, why should I have to get my own room? Blah, blah, blah. The girl's boyfriend. And later Ice retaliates against that statement, was like, can I not play with my pee in my bed without you wanting to sleep in my bed? So anyway, and now the biggest issue that I felt was an issue too, was the whole eating situation. So she said between Texas and Mexico. So I'm assuming they were in El Paso. And she's right there. There's absolutely nothing out there but desert. And I think the closest McDonald's was like out in the middle of nowhere. I used to live in White Sands, New Mexico, which is right there on the El Paso border. Like from my house to El Paso was like 45 miles. And guess what's in between there? Nothing. So I know exactly what they're talking about, and I'm pretty sure I know exactly where they were too. So she says that they got up. Nobody's talked about food or eating or anything. She sees some guys out there playing basketball who are allegedly a part of the tour. And she's like, hey, can y'all walk with us to this McDonald's? We don't want to walk by ourselves. And the dudes were like, no. Which I felt was like, come on, y'all. Come on. You ladies, why y'all gonna make the ladies walk by themselves? I didn't like that. And as you can see, I'm going to let you know when I feel something is truly wrong, okay? I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're right, you're right. I feel it was wrong for these gentlemen to not walk with the girls to go to McDonald's, or at least take the tour bus or something. So she was like, her and her hairstylist were wondering why, nobody wants food, nobody's eating. Guess what? Everybody ate at a steakhouse. So now she is livid. And to be honest with you, I think that the hairstylist was whisked away unbeknownst to Cleo, and I think she ate too. And I even told her on her little live, I was like, just watch yourself with the hairstylist, because that's Ice's girl. I mean, everybody know who are your best girls in the world. The person who makes you beautiful, and who makes you the most beautiful? Your hairstylist. That's just it. You know how it goes. So anyway, that situation happened within the El Paso area, and then there was another situation to where they were like, the hairstylist was like, hey, they're getting food, and she passed around the menu, just tell them what you want. And she asked the hairstylist, she's like, what are you gonna get? She's like, oh, I just want a chicken salad. So Cleo places an order for a chicken salad too, and they were like, we're not paying for your food. And I was like, well, I think that's because she started complaining too much and she started talking too much. And I very much think that the hairstylist was there to see exactly what the problems was. So long story short, at the end of the story, Cleo texts Ice Spice, this mega star who again went to the Super Bowl with Taylor Swift, this long paragraph, and expects her to read and analyze it. And even Ice Spice was like, I'm not about to sit up here and read through all this stuff and figure out what I did wrong. I brought you on tour and you're ungrateful. And I feel like she's ungrateful too. Now, I don't like that Ice Spice called her a careerless bum. You know what I'm saying? That was a little unnecessary, but I do feel that Ice Spice was frustrated, irritated. Like, how dare you? I gave you a platform. You would never have this opportunity without me. And I would like to also add, I'm anti, like, I don't know, she kind of falls into that degenerate culture. Ice Spice, Sexy Red Glorilla, all the things I don't want my daughter to be. I'm sorry, but I do respect Ice Spice. I have to say that. But I'm sorry, twerking and showing your bare booty is degenerate culture to me, and that's just what it is. But I see where Ice Spice did absolutely nothing wrong. I think that her providing a stage for this girl was enough. This girl, the way she bragged about how much money she has, and I have this, I have that, I got a 2023 car, I got a nice apartment, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, girl, go get your own food. Bring somebody in, fly somebody in. You know what I mean? I don't think that she should have been there to siphon and suck up all of Ice Spice's resources. She's just gonna have to deal with it. So let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to you later. Bye.